Her laptop was still open when I walked in. Bank account screen glowing. Tabs stacked in the corner, soul contracts, twin flame discovery kit, past life lovers, and energetic reversals. One charge caught my eye. $3,800, Juno Sky, Divine Consultant. Under it, the note read, full timeline extraction plus partner evaluation. Another. $1,100, private energy mapping level 4 disconnection ritual. $14,000. Gone. I stood there, silent. Mallory was outside in the garden, barefoot, arms lifted toward the sky like she was soaking up moonlight, probably filming another one of her personal alignment rituals for her private story. She'd been like this for months now. Used to be a yoga mat and some guided meditation. Now it was interdimensional activation and removing the chains of karmic marriages. Guess whose chain she meant? She floated back inside 15 minutes later, literally humming, eyes closed, breeze in her hair. Jeff, she said softly, I had a breakthrough today. I didn't answer. I was still staring at the laptop, still watching the transaction history refresh. She touched my arm. Juno says I've been carrying energy that isn't mine, from a man I don't resonate with anymore. I turned. And who would that be, Mallory? She blinked, didn't answer. Later that night, after she passed out with healing stones on her chest and chakra music looping from her iPhone. Her phone buzzed. I didn't touch it. I just watched the lock screen light up. A message preview slid across the top. Juno, he doesn't deserve you. You're on the wrong path. Meet me tomorrow. 11:11. Bring the blue stone. It's time. She didn't know her phone still synced to the iCloud account I created. Didn't know the voice notes she sent were all stored. Didn't know I could see the pictures. Didn't know I knew about the man she was meeting every Wednesday at 11:11. She thought the universe sent her a sign. She didn't realize the universe was about to reply. And I was holding the pin. I booked the session under the name Michael Vinn, birth year adjusted by 3 years, birth time faked by 20 minutes. Apparently, in the world of soul readings, timing controls everything. Mallory believed that. Said our Saturn return clashed with my masculine polarity. Said our charts were doomed. Said Juno explained it better than any therapist ever had. I just smiled when she said that, because now I had a session of my own. Juno Sky's assistant sent me an email with pre-work, a 13-page PDF called Preparing for Timeline Expansion and Astral Detox. Said I had to meditate for 3 hours before the call and drink lemon water charged under a full moon. I did neither. I just logged in with the screen recorder running. Juno popped onto Zoom 6 minutes late. Late 40s. Heavily filtered camera. White silk robe. Feather earrings. Smoky quartz pendant hanging like a badge of divinity. Behind her, a vision board with phrases like, rewrite your timeline. You're not stuck. You're stitched to the wrong soul. If it doesn't grow you, ghost it. She greeted me with a warm, rehearsed smile. Michael, you have dense masculine energy. I could feel it when the portal opened. I said nothing, just nodded. She launched into it. First, the performance. She closed her eyes and started breathing heavy like she was about to faint. I'm pulling your path. Hold on. Oof. Big resistance here. She gasped. I see you married, but misaligned. She was supposed to meet someone else, but you arrived too soon. She wasn't ready. That's why you feel disconnected. She opened her eyes. Are you feeling confused in your current relationship? I just stared at her. She continued. It's not your fault. You're karmically entangled. Your wife's root chakra is severed. She's, giving energy to someone who isn't in the contract. I asked, do you think she's cheating? Juno tilted her head. In this life, or the last one? I leaned forward. In either. She smiled. You already know the answer, Michael. You came here for confirmation, not advice. Then she dropped the line. Your wife is not your twin flame. She's a karmic partner. A lesson. And then she said it. There is another. I sense a man with a strong physical body, soft energy, very open. He's been meeting with her. Your wife is drawn to him because he activates something you don't. She didn't know she just outed the whole thing. She didn't know I just confirmed Kai's description. She didn't know she just told me my wife's been seeing him in person. She just smiled and whispered. Sometimes it's better to release her, so your real twin can find you. When the call ended, I checked the session log. She had billed $600 for that 40-minute reading. She also logged a note in her client care form, which I had hacked access to via the fake booking email. The note read, "Client emotionally vulnerable. Potential for upgrade to monthly guidance plus partner removal spell." I copied everything. The audio, the notes, the billing record, and I saved them to a new folder called Fraud/Lure/Manipulation, Sky. Mallory thought Juno was channeling truth from the stars. I knew Juno was channeling cash from women like her. And now I had her whole playbook. Wednesday, 10:47 a.m. Mallory left the house in a white linen dress she hadn't worn in years. Said she was headed to the Crystal Co-op for a group realignment session and maybe a Reiki-infused brunch. Her exact words. Like she was going to church, a spa, and a seance all in one. She kissed me lightly on the cheek, like I was some friendly neighbor watering her plants. 10 minutes after she pulled out, I followed. I already knew where she was going. Not because she told me she never did anymore, but because she left her schedule wide open on her phone's calendar, still syncing to the iPad in our bedroom. Entry, 11:11. Kai breathwork plus body tuning. Location, a boutique hotel 40 minutes away. I stayed 2 cars behind the whole drive. No rush, no emotion, just observation. At exactly 11:07, she pulled into the lot of a small, eucalyptus-scented place called the Golden Route Retreat Suites. No valet, no lobby check-in, just code entry rooms with privacy glass. I parked 2 rows over and waited. Then I saw him. Tall, sun-kissed, toned in that lean, influencer way. Wearing joggers, no shirt, leather sandals, and a stack of beads on both wrists like he was smuggling incense from Bali. Kai. He didn't greet her with a handshake. He cupped her face, then kissed her slowly, like she was water and he hadn't drunk in days. She smiled like a teenager sneaking out. They vanished into Suite 207. I didn't follow them in. I didn't need to. Instead, I walked into the lobby and approached the desk. Woman behind the counter looked up with a smile. Checking in. Actually, just curious. Do you guys do walk-in bookings? Or is it all standing appointments? She tapped her screen. Oh, we've got plenty of standing ones. We keep recurring rooms for our practitioners. She pointed towards Suite 207 on the screen. Mr. Farrow has that one weekly. Blocked every Wednesday at 11 for energy work. Farrow. Of course. Kai wouldn't use his real last name. Too earthly. I leaned in a little, kept my voice neutral. Just out of curiosity, is that kind of work, licensed? She paused, smiled nervously. I think it's more spiritual facilitation. We don't ask too many questions. Right. Because the questions wouldn't fit on a vision board. When I got home, Mallory was already there. Smelled like peppermint oil and eucalyptus. Hair still damp. She didn't say much. Just smiled dreamily and said she was processing something major and needed to be with her vibration for the evening. I nodded. Said I had a work project to finish. That night, I pulled up my recording from the lobby. Her name wasn't on the hotel records, but Kai had blocked that room every week for 2 months. And when I searched Kai Farrow on social media, found a website, spiritualintimacycoach.org. Tagline, where breath meets body and boundaries dissolve. His testimonials were all women. 3 of them wore the exact necklace Mallory had bought last month at the spirit market. I wasn't even angry anymore. I was interested, because this wasn't just about sex. It was about how deeply someone could be manipulated once they thought it was divine. And Mallory? She didn't think she was cheating. She thought she was healing. So I started planning. Not how to win her back. How to pull the curtain off this whole damn play. Friday night, 1:13 a.m. Mallory was asleep. Her phone face down on the charger. A small rose quartz stone balanced on her sternum, her new bedtime ritual. She said it helped anchor the heart chakra during dream descent. I waited 20 minutes to be sure, then slipped the phone from her side of the bed. No passcode needed. Same one she's used since college, her old dog's name and a moon emoji. I didn't scroll through texts. I went straight for voice memos, because that's where she kept her real thoughts now, not in journals. In downloads from the divine. First one was dated 2 weeks back. Title, Post-Kai Debrief/Juno Session Reflection. Play. Juno says my energy responded to Kai instantly. She said that's how you know it's a twin flame. When the body says yes before the mind can catch up. I felt safe. I felt seen. When he touched my back during the breath work, it felt like, I don't know, like I was meeting myself in another form. I think Jeff is my karmic closure, not my future. Next memo. Title: Preparing the Transition Conversation. Juno told me not to say I'm leaving for someone else. She said I should say I'm leaving for myself. That the soul doesn't owe explanation for realignment. She also said if Jeff reacts negatively, that means he was never on my vibration. That anger is a low-frequency emotion. And that separation is proof of evolution. Then I found a forwarded audio file from Juno herself. Silky, practiced voice. Hi Mallory. You're doing beautifully. Remember, shame is a human invention. Sharing energetic love with someone else is not betrayal, it's expansion. You are claiming what your former self never believed she could have. Also, be sure to wear the blue agate pendant when you meet Kai next. He mentioned it drew him in during your last alignment. I paused it right there. Energetic love, huh? Let me translate that for you. She was cheating, paying for permission to do it, and calling it destiny. And it wasn't even her words anymore. She was reading a script. Back in our shared drive, yes, the one she forgot I set up 5 years ago to sync her recordings for workflow efficiency, I found dozens of these. Weeks of Juno coaching her through detachment, encouraging Kai, affirming her sexual awakening, suggesting when to remove rings, how to speak in I statements, and how to reframe guilt as ancestral trauma residue. It wasn't just betrayal. It was programming. Spiritual MLM meets emotional cult. And she bought the platinum package. I didn't say a word. Not when she stirred the next morning and said she dreamed of a rain-soaked temple where some man's face turned into a lion. Not when she made sage-smoked oatmeal and asked if I was feeling anything shift between us. I said, yeah, something's definitely shifting. And she smiled. That night, I started crafting the counterspell. Not with stones, not with incense, but with paper, bank statements, call logs, calendar data, voice transcripts. I labeled it. Exit plan. Full alignment. Because if she wanted freedom, she was about to get it. Just not the way her oracle predicted. Sunday, 9:02 a.m. Mallory was out grounding at the water temple, which, translated from spiritual speak, meant brunch with Kai. Probably barefoot. Probably whispering affirmations between sips of oat milk lattes. I stayed home. With coffee. And receipts. I opened Kai's website again, spiritualintimacycoach.org. Buried in the bottom footer? A pixel-thin privacy policy link that routed through a domain registrar. That gave me a real address, which led to a public records search. And that gave me a full name, Kai Nathaniel Alvarez, 37, lives 10 miles from us, and very much married. Her name was Lena Alvarez, public-facing, PDA volunteer, teaches yoga at a local community center. I found her Instagram, all smiles, all quotes about peace and unity, and all posted without the faintest clue that her husband was sweating his way through breathwork alignment sessions with someone else's wife in Suite 207 every Wednesday. I debated for a minute, then created a fresh email address and sent this. Subject: from one husband to one wife. Hi Lena. I don't know you, but I know what it feels like to be lied to in the name of healing. Your husband, Kai, has been seeing my wife, Mallory, under the guise of spiritual coaching. They meet weekly. I've attached confirmation. This isn't gossip. It's documentation. I'm not here to destroy your life, but you deserve to know what's happening in it. Jeff. I attached 3 things. A screenshot of the booking calendar showing Mallory's weekly time block. A still from hotel surveillance, Kai's entrance, timestamped. A clip from the Juno voice memo referencing the pendant Kai liked during their last session. Then I hit send. I didn't expect a response that day, but I got one. 4 hours later. Subject: from one husband to one wife. Jeff. I've had suspicions. I just didn't know how deep it went. Thank you for showing me respect when my own husband didn't. You're not alone. Neither is she. Lena. She included an image. Kai's vision board. On it, a photo of a beach house. A quote that said, "One divine woman. No more cages." A Polaroid of Mallory, laughing, wearing the blue agate necklace. It was labeled, True Flame. Mallory came home glowing that night. Told me she'd released 3 layers of generational guilt, and that Kai said her womb was finally vibrating at freedom frequency. I nodded, told her I was proud. And I meant it. Because she was almost free. Almost. But first, I needed Kai to feel something. Not guilt. Not fear. Accountability. And with Lena, his wife, now watching, he was about to get it from both sides. Tuesday morning, 7:41 a.m. Mallory stood barefoot in the living room, swirling smoke from burning sage around her shoulders. I'm prepping for tonight's moon portal, she said, eyes half closed. Juno says it's ideal for cord cutting, especially from heavy, masculine anchors. That was me. A heavy anchor. 12 years of loyalty filed under karmic baggage. I just sipped my coffee and said, sounds important. She smiled like she pitied me. That afternoon, I met with Lena. In person. Neutral location, a tea house halfway between our neighborhoods. She came in wearing a yoga tank top and aviators. Polished. Calm. No nonsense. She opened with, before we talk, I need you to know, I'm not the kind of woman who falls apart. I nodded. Good, I said. Because I'm not the kind of man who forgives quietly. We compared notes. She already knew about 3 other women Kai had spiritually connected with in the last year. He called them feminine mirrors. Lena called them by their names. Had dates. Screenshots. Hotel charges. Even an audio recording of him coaching one of them through vocal release therapy. She'd been building her own file. I told her about the money Mallory spent. About the love tokens, the fake counseling, the whispered exit scripts. She showed me photos of Kai's altar, where he kept a photo of Mallory framed in gold. Called it his manifestation anchor. I nearly laughed. You ready to end this? I asked. She didn't blink. Tell me what to do. That night, I started the process. Step 1. Move all remaining assets into my business trust. Clean. Legal. Prenup supported. The house was in my name. The joint savings had already been carved. The part she hadn't siphoned away into soul mentorships I'd moved 2 weeks ago. Step 2. Contact my estate lawyer. Freeze her access to my life insurance and medical directives. She'd never noticed those documents in the fireproof box under the basement stairs. Step 3. Close her credit card. Politely. Meanwhile, Mallory invited 4 women over for her cord-cutting circle. They arrived in shawls and long skirts, giggling like witches before a seance. One brought moon water. Another brought raw honey for womb support. I stayed in my office. But I turned on the hidden mic I'd placed under the living room console. And I heard it all. Mallory. I'm releasing Jeff tonight. He's not evil, just inert. I've outgrown him. I've already started looking for a place with Kai. Another voice. Does Jeff know? Mallory. He will when the stars tell him. I'm not rushing the message. Another. You're so brave. So in your goddess. Mallory. Juno says I'm reclaiming my spiritual sovereignty. I just hope Jeff finds someone who aligns with his density. Laughter. Crystals clinked. I saved the audio. Named the file. Spiritual Sovereignty myass.mp3. That night, I messaged Lena. Audio collected. Next move, Juno. You good to intercept? She replied within seconds. Already booked my session. She won't see me coming either. Thursday, 2 p.m. Juno Sky had no idea who she was about to meet. She thought it was Savannah E., birth sign Cancer, mother of 3, recovering from emotional stagnation in a misaligned marriage. She didn't know Savannah was really Lena Alvarez, wife of Kai, her favorite energy twin provider. She didn't know Lena came wired. They met in Juno's private alignment space, a rented loft downtown filled with hanging drapes, incense, and faux tribal drums. Lena wore a flowing white dress, no makeup, and a quartz necklace, full disguise. She looked like she belonged. But every word was being recorded. Juno opened with breathwork and affirmations. You've entered a sacred container. No judgment, no shame. Your soul is ready to realign. Then she asked the question she always asked early clients. Are you married or partnered with anyone who no longer reflects your divine frequency? Lena paused, then answered exactly as planned. Yes, I love him, but I've met someone else. The connection is magnetic, electric. It's not physical yet, but I want it. Juno leaned forward. That's not betrayal, sweetheart. That's your next timeline. She continued. You're not breaking anything. You're unblocking. There's a reason you met your flame now. Your masculine was needed to hold you while you evolved, but he's not meant to receive you as a goddess. You can begin the energetic merger before leaving physically. It's safer that way. Lena asked. Would you guide me through that? Juno smiled. Yes. That's part of my expanded Sovereign series. I can get you started today. That's the moment Lena asked what Jeff told her to ask. Do I have to tell my husband? Juno's answer? Word for word. No. Secrecy is not deception. It's sacred incubation. If you told him now, you'd trigger his wounded masculine. We can bypass that. Lena. What about the money? I'd need sessions with both partners. Juno. Don't worry. I can split invoices under business development. My accountant codes them for coaching and vitality. No red flags. Boom. Tax evasion. Fraud. Spiritual abuse. All on tape. That night, Lena and I reviewed the file together. 52 minutes of footage. Crystal clear audio. Juno openly coaching infidelity, disguising relationship sabotage as divine expansion, and offering illegal workarounds. We had everything. I created a digital file package. Juno's fraudulent billing structure. Her website and undeclared payment processor. The audio file. Screenshots of spiritual exit scripts. Full breakdown of Mallory's drained account. Statements from Lena and 3 other women Juno had scammed. I titled the folder, The Gospel of Grift, Sky vs. Skies, LLC. Then I shared it with IRS tip line, State Consumer Fraud Division. One very interested investigative podcaster Lena knew. Mallory had no idea any of this was happening. She thought she was ascending. She thought the stars were guiding her. She didn't know we were already in the collapse phase. Saturday, 9:33 a.m. Mallory was in the kitchen stirring oat milk into her vibrational mushroom tonic, humming to herself, floating, radiant. She thought she was finally free. She didn't see the storm cloud waiting in her inbox. I did, because I triggered it. At exactly 10 a.m., the dominoes fell. Bank access revoked. All cards tied to our joint accounts, frozen. Her daily spiritual offerings to Juno, declined. The Tesla lease, returned. I'd paid the early cancellation fee last month. She just hadn't noticed. Email from the estate attorney. Formal notification. Her name had been removed from every shared asset where legal grounds allowed. A sealed envelope at the door. Inside, divorce notice. Full transaction breakdown. Timeline of her sessions with Kai. A list of all recorded audio files from Juno. One single note written in my handwriting. You said I was blocking your light, so I removed myself from your shadow. Mallory stood there reading, barefoot, trembling, lips twitching between rage and disbelief. She looked up. You went through my things. I stayed calm. No, I went through our things. You just forgot they were ours. She stormed upstairs. Came back with her phone. Scrolled. Stopped. Why can't I access my account? You don't have one anymore. She started pacing, palms to her forehead. This is retaliation, she hissed. Juno warned me. She said you'd react like this. Did she also warn you the IRS would be reviewing her coaching receipts? She froze. What? I handed her a folder. Inside was a printed screenshot of Lena's recording. Juno, in full spiritual scammer glory, explaining how to hide love session payments as coaching invoices. Mallory went pale. She trusted me, she said, almost in a whisper. I raised an eyebrow. You trusted her more than you ever trusted me. Then her phone buzzed. New message. From Lena Alvarez. Subject line. Thought you should see this. She tapped it. Saw a video preview. It was Kai, shirtless, on his own phone, whispering, You're not my only flame, baby. Don't be jealous. Fire spreads. The same message he had sent to 3 other women, including Juno. Mallory dropped the phone. For a second, she looked like she couldn't breathe. You set me up. No, I said. You lit the match. I just let the house burn down. She packed a duffel bag and left by sundown. No big speech. No apology. Just silence. I watched her walk out the same front door I'd spent 10 years walking in with loyalty, groceries, plans. Now, just closure. But I wasn't done. Because she wasn't the only one who needed an ending. Juno's clients? They were starting to ask questions. And the podcasto? He'd just gone live. Monday, 4:14 p.m. Mallory's phone lit up again, but this time, it wasn't Juno. It was her Divine Sisterhood group chat. All 7 women. And one link. A podcast episode titled, The Oracle Trap, Inside a Spiritual Scam Empire. She played it once. Then again. By the 3rd time, she was sobbing into the couch cushion. The episode was brutal. 34 minutes of receipts. Juno's coaching recordings. Kai's leaked messages. Even the breakdown of Mallory's payments labeled Ascension Sessions. The host didn't mention names directly, but everyone who knew them could do the math. By Wednesday, Juno Sky's site was offline. Her Instagram? Disabled. Her payment processor? Frozen under review. The so-called Goddess Guidance Circle. Abandoned. One by one, the women left. Not in anger, in humiliation. As for Mallory, she tried to pivot. Started a brand called Soul Glow with Mal. First post. A selfie, eyes red, captioned, From ruin comes rebirth. I may have been misled, but I am not broken. Thank you for those who still walk beside me. She added links to one-on-one lunar sessions, inner voice alignment, and goddess journaling bundles. I waited 24 hours, then made a quiet move. I created a Reddit post. Anonymous. Just facts. Before you pay $222 for a moon manifestation journal, ask yourself if you're buying healing or buying what destroyed someone else's marriage. Attached, screenshots. Receipts. A clip of Juno instructing Mallory how to hold dual love streams without disclosure. The post went viral in under an hour. That night, I got a message on a burner account. You've got some nerve airing our story. It was from Mallory. I didn't reply, because I had one last message she didn't know was coming. A spiritual wellness forum she used to post on religiously, Starseed Collective reached out for a background check after seeing the Reddit post. They were considering her for a featured spotlight. I sent them everything. Next day, she got the email. Thank you for your interest in the Starseed Spotlight series. Unfortunately, we've chosen to go in another direction. She posted nothing for 3 days. When she returned, a blurry picture of the ocean. Caption. Even the tide knows when to pull back. Meanwhile, Lena served Kai with divorce papers. He's living alone now, according to her. Trying to rebuild his coaching brand under a new name. It won't work. Not with the trail we left. I didn't gloat. Didn't post anything more. Didn't message her back. Because sometimes silence is the loudest ending. It's been 6 months. Mallory hasn't come back. Not for her things. Not for an apology. Not for closure. Just the occasional vague post on social media, some blurry photo of a sunrise and a caption like, The universe takes before it gives. Right. What it took was our marriage. What it gave her was a crash course in what happens when you outsource morality to someone with a Moonstone and a Venmo account. Me? I didn't spiral. I didn't stalk. I didn't scream. I didn't punch drywall or chase Kai down with righteous fury. I just watched, listened, took notes. And then, when the timing was right, I opened the curtain. Let the world see the performance she thought was sacred. That's the thing about these self-declared oracles and energy coaches and divine facilitators. They dress manipulation in velvet robes and call it truth. They sell exits from accountability and call it healing. And if you dare challenge it, you're low vibration. You're blocking their evolution. You're a masculine wound in their past life. No, you're just a man who didn't pay them. Mallory didn't leave because of fate. She didn't leave because a psychic saw something. She left because she wanted to. And someone told her that wanting was enough. No guilt. No grief. Just alignment. But here's what they never tell you on those tarot lives or moon circles. Alignment without integrity is just selfishness with a paint job. I moved out of that house. Sold it 2 months later. Donated half the proceeds to a support group for partners of cult abuse victims. Started a business helping men recover their digital security after toxic breakups. First client? A guy whose ex used their shared calendar to track him while she slept with her Reiki teacher. Sound familiar? Sometimes I get messages from other men. How'd you know when it was time to act? What if she's just confused? How do I fight back without becoming the villain? Here's what I tell them. You don't fight her. You fight the story she's using to hurt you. You outdocument. You outlast. You outlight the darkness. You stay calm. You get quiet. And when the universe gives you a window, you don't scream. You open it and let the wind do the rest.